Hey guys, this is Trent at Black Horse Ranch, and we're gonna have to start putting these doors on of the brooder here. This was also gonna be double as our dairy area, so we made it big enough so we could milk cow in there and everything. So if you saw our video about our broiler chickens, you saw the family inside painting the doors here, and so we need to hang those up. But before we do that, I want to show you some stuff, and this is all leading up to a bigger project on the brooder because of how it was built. So let me show you a couple other things here and show you what we're going to work on. So this is our brooder, and this is the side of our shop, and it used to be all open like this bay here. And if you saw our video from this spring, we filled this area in, we poured concrete, and we walled it in to make our brooder and our dairy area. We don't have a dairy cow yet, but that's something we want to get doing here not too long down the road. So some of the things that we noticed here, and I can't show you inside the brooder, I'll take you down here where our wood pile is first. One of the things I first noticed when we moved here was the color staining on the joists up here, and you can see there it looks like there's been a lot of water dripping off those joists, and there has, and you see that beam right there, and the one over there at the wall. And I thought initially that it was condensation, because the underside, since there's no insulation under here, the underside of this roof does condensate a bit. So not that big of a deal under here, but when we started working on the brooder, what we really found was the cause for these leaks. If you look right up in there, we've got well, we can't see anything there. Let me try to find one for you. Okay, all right, so I found one of the culprits. I don't know if you can see up there, but where that water stain is, there's actually a screw up at the top there, and you see that screw is just barely hitting the wood, and it's kind of splitting the top of that joist. What happens, so the rest of this shop roof has sheeting on it, and then, you know, it's not as big a deal if your screws hit joists. But if you don't use sheeting, when you put screws in, they have to hit square on those joists, or else there's not enough tension on the rubber washer under the roofing screw to seal it. And so this is what we have. So if we look at all of these spots here, while these ones may be from condensation, these big leaks down the side, those are definitely from loose screws. And there's no way to tighten the loose screw if it misses the joist. And if you pull it out, then you have a hole in your roof. And so the right thing that we need to do here is we're gonna sheet this, and then we're gonna put a vapor barrier on top of the sheeting and then put the roofing back on. So we have to pull off all this metal roofing. We have to get our sheathing up there. Oh look, there it is. And then we got to get the vapor barrier down and then put the roof back on. Now, it's not that big of a problem down here. Nobody likes water dripping on their firewood. You know, eventually it's gonna rot the joists and it's gonna rot those beams. But inside the brooder's different. So one of the problem areas in here, so we have all this insulation in here you can't see, but this is one of the posts. This is a pole barn type construction. When that roof leaks, it goes on top of these walls and it runs down the OSB, and then it puddles at the bottom. And there's a couple of spots in the brooder here that have that issue. But you can see even in here, we've got the water staining from when this was all open. And we can't actually see here where we've got the bare metal underneath our insulation. This is just that reflective insulation. And so that problem with the screws missing the joist is all throughout here. And so rather than go up on the roof and try to figure out which screws aren't sealing and all that kind of stuff, we're just gonna pull them all off and do this right. And then that'll allow us to put insulation in here, and it'll allow us to close the ceiling off with insulation without having to worry about leaks and whatnot. So that's our big project. It won't take too long, but it'll be a little bit of a process. I plan on starting today, but we'll bring you along and show you the progress as we go. Hey guys, so you can see we've got the roof all decked up here. We finished putting it on yesterday, and we got the flashing on the front edge put back on, all except for one little piece. And so today we'll be hopefully getting the tar paper and the roof back on. And there's one problem that we had though, and if any of you had a keen eye, you might have noticed it on some of the other videos. But let me show you. What looks like a perfectly sound roof here is actually not. So I'll find a good spot to show you here. Right here. So you see that? There's nothing under there supporting that. So I tried to check these. They just weren't laid out good. So 4 feet or 8 feet, like nothing fit between any of the rafters or the purlins actually on this building. And so we just went ahead and installed the sheets, and so I'm going to go in underneath and put supports wherever I need it. This one here is real close, so I can just scab on a 2x4 to the existing purlin. But up here, I'm going to put perpendicular braces under there. So that's what we're going to start working on now. Hopefully we'll get that done here real quick, and then we can start rolling out the tar paper. We could do the tar paper first because the sheeting's not going to come off. We don't have to put nails in those supports. I'd prefer to, but my worry is that once we start rolling out tar paper, we're going to step in those spots and rip the paper, and we don't want to do that. So, and the tar paper works as a vapor barrier in this case. So anyway, that's where we're at, and we'll keep going. So you can see what I'm talking about here on the underside. You can see that blue line right there. It looks like a classic layout error, like that purlin should have been to the left 1.5 inches, and then it would have caught that sheet there. So on this one, we'll just scab a 2x4 alongside that 2x6 purlin. That should be good. And then on this joint here, it's almost right in the middle. So don't know what happened there, but this one we've already done, so you can see what we're gonna do here. So wherever we have a joint going perpendicular, we'll have one that goes right under that joint, and then these are laid out 16 inches on center. So that's how we're gonna fix these. So we'll get plugging away. Well guys, we got it done. We were up till about 10:30 last night getting all the roofing on. It's supposed to rain today. We just beat it. And then I came out this morning and was finishing putting all the screws in. So we've got a little bit more screws to do, but we're out. So we'll get some more screws and that's it. I'm gonna go check around and see if there's any leaks. And thanks for watching.